Oh, yeah. We are back, baby. Chargers Powder Hour, episode number 100. The century mark for this podcast. Man, I never thought we'd make it here. JK, I always knew we'd make it here. Colin Appel, Miles Ruka, we are your co-host. My man, how we doing on this 100th episode anniversary of this podcast?
Feels really good, man. Wish this was an episode about some sort of big win or some sort of milestone, but it's not the real. That is not the reality of this team currently. Coming off a 6-2 nothing win over the Patriots, which that is just sour coming out of my mouth, saying the score 6-0. But win is a win. 5-7 on the year. I mean, as a fan, I'm somewhat uninspired currently. I'm just kind of going through the motions at this point in the year, but there is ball left to be played, and I mean, I've said it once and I'll say it again. I'm gonna enjoy these last few weeks. Let's see, what, like 5 weeks left. I'm gonna enjoy it just because I know once like March rolls around, I'm gonna be thirsty for some football. So I'm gonna enjoy it while it lasts, and hey, the boys are pulling out the Royals this week, so that's always fun to see. But yeah, man,
Yeah.
I've been doing good. I've been really busy with school. Wrapping up my second to last semester of college, so that's really taken me away from some recording time lately. But happy to be back, man. We got a lot to cover, so it's good to be here.
Yeah, we'll try to keep it somewhat short. That way you can get back to studying. I
Yes,
know. I know
I
what
do
that's like.
appreciate that. Yeah,
Um,
you've been there, so
Yeah, it's not fun. So I totally get it, man. And yeah, we've kind of taken a little break again. We've our scheduling. This isn't our main gig, obviously. This is just a fun hobby we do on the side to talk Chargers football and drink a couple times throughout the week. So yeah, with us not being in the same town, same city anymore, like we were when we first started the podcast, having to, and obviously now there's a time change involved also. So, there's certain times where we're just unable to hop on and get on together. But yeah, we're here for episode number 100, man. And just to go back to what you said too about, how you're feeling, how you're doing. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely excited to talk about all those feelings and dig into why you might be a little bit uninspired at the moment. But yeah, man, also excited to talk Broncos, talk kind of the state of the union for this team at the moment, and drink some beer.
yeah, no, there's a lot of things that probably need to be addressed that we're a little bit delayed on, but hey, we're here now. I am drinking tonight for episode 100. I have Outlaw is what they're called. They are from, let's see here, Mile High Light Beer. Probably shouldn't be drinking this on Broncos week. But
Oh,
yeah, didn't read the fine print before I grabbed this thing out of the fridge, so excuse me. It's kind of got a little bit of a powder blue on the can though, if you will. So we're gonna call a spade and go with that. So that's what I'm sipping on
good
tonight.
save. Good save.
I'll get you guys a nice little crisp can crack there. That's the first one from me in a while. I know for a fact. So
Yeah,
it's good to be back.
season three, we're gonna be on you
I know.
about
I've been
drinking.
bad. I've been bad. Maybe I should if it's one of those, hangover days, I just need to rip a few shots right away in the episode and I'll be good to roll. But we'll cross
That's
that
right,
bridge when
man.
it comes.
Well, I am actually supporting another local brewery out here in Arizona. I got the Peach Golden Ale from Four Peaks Brewing Company out of Tempe. So Four Peaks, a solid brewery. I'm sure. I mean, it's very very popular out here in Arizona. So any of our Arizonan fans, I'm sure will recognize and be like, oh yeah, Four Peaks. That's huge. It's not very exotic because it's very popular, but just yeah, solid beers. I've had a couple different kinds, and the peach one is very good. It's crisp, vibrant, and peachy. That's what it says on the
Mm,
bottle.
wow.
That's
Chris
exactly how I
Vibrant.
would describe it.
Yeah, Chris Vibrant and Peachy. Sounds like a typical Saturday night for me, if you will. So
Oh, dude, this is a beer you could, if you're out on a patio, let's say on a Sunday afternoon with handful of games on the TV,
You
you
could
could
kill a
probably
few.
delete like 12 of these.
Noted. Yeah, you got to send me ship me out some if you're coming back for Christmas or anytime soon. Bring me
I
a case
am,
of some of
bro.
those.
I
So
am.
man, we
Santa
gotta.
Santa may just bring you a treat.
Hey, Santa might bring us a win against the Bills the night before Christmas Eve. So that's kind of what I want. I'm sure we'll be linking for that game, but hell yeah, dude, I love it.
So
Got
got
the
the
got the Santa
Chargers
hat
Santa
on.
hat on. We're
Fits the
rocking and
time,
rolling,
man.
baby. 'Tis the season.
There's no way you're gonna falsely predict a game wearing that thing.
Dude, this thing, tell you what, this thing will keep your head nice and warm too. I'm already like, can already feel sweat going on. I just put it on. Keep you nice and toasty.
Fair enough, man. But let's get right to some ball. How about I know we got some things that have happened within the last few weeks to talk about. We got some things coming up in the future to talk about. Let's dive right
Yeah.
in.
Well, yeah, we're gonna do kind of a, kind of a rapid fire here. Just some big news that's gone down in the last week or so since we've been able to get on and record. Obviously, Chargers coming away with an ugly win in Foxborough, but a win nonetheless, 6-0. Not a lot of offense from both sides. Very, you know, good defensive battle from both sides, and yeah, something going forward is definitely or a kind of a concern, and it kind of has been now for maybe a couple weeks, but the offense just getting back on track, and finding a rhythm and a groove where they're able to move the chains, move the ball down the field, and ultimately, puts more points on the board. So, hey, a win's a win. You take it, especially in a place like Foxborough, a place and a team like that, which just seems to have, I mean, evaded Chargers wins. I mean, it feels like every time we play them, like they just somehow they either blow us out or they somehow just find a way to beat us late in the game. So, uh, first win against New England since '05, I believe.
Oh 08. I'm just looking at it now.
Oh, '08.
I thought
Yeah.
it'd been longer though. We did beat them back in 05 and 02, but 08 we got her done in San Diego it looks like. But yeah,
'08 was the
first
Castle
time.
year, so I know we didn't beat Brady, but in
Yeah.
'05 did we beat Brady?
That's a good question, man. I don't know, but it is nice to finally be able to get a W in the box score against a team like that. I know for a fact, for me anyway, I can't remember last time we beat the Patriots. I mean, '08, I wasn't a really huge. I mean, I was 7 years old, wasn't a huge football fan. So, I mean, how the Chargers were doing against the Patriots was probably the least of my concerns back in '08. But yeah, back in '05, we did beat Tom Brady. So, um, I
That's
would
what I
guess
thought.
I
I just
think that's
didn't know.
probably our franchise's only win against Tom Brady. But
I think it
yeah,
is.
it's nice to get back. Nice to get a win against a team like that again. Hopefully, it won't be another 12 years before we can beat them again. So your mic's muted.
Solid chance both of these organizations could look very different next season. So, yeah, it was nice just to get a win against Belichick. At least we got that. So, yeah, win's a win. You definitely take it. And moving forward, the Chargers continue to find themselves in this conversation of yes, they're technically still very much alive in the playoff race, but you know how how feasible is it at this point to actually talk playoffs and actually say it with like some conviction? Because I think it's pretty clear of what they have to do at this point, and that's pretty much win out. So that's kind of the easy road to get there, or one of the easier paths to get there. The question is, what is stopping this team from being able to do that? And that's something that I kind of wanted to like dive into a little bit, not too much at length, but just while we're, you know, kind of capping the Patriots game, and then kind of looking forward. Um, just you personally, what's something that you would like to see this week against the Broncos that could give you some conviction, or maybe a little bit more faith into, hey, maybe they could turn it around at some point or
Well,
go on a run.
just for the record, I've kind of been out on the playoffs since the Packers game, since we lost that one, dropped that one in Green Bay. I was pretty much like, that's a really big hit. I think we kind of knew we could only really afford two more losses, and then we lost back to back against Green Bay and Baltimore, so that really hurt. But right now, I think it's really going to be on the offensive side of the ball for me. Honestly, back to back, not bad showings from the defense. Obviously, shutting out New England last week, and I'd say overall against Baltimore, we did have a pretty decent defensive game from the standards that we've seen this year. It wasn't like a Lions or Miami game where they just ran up and down the field on us. I think it's all about the defense, especially last 2 weeks, has been putting the offense in position to succeed, and it just hasn't been going on. So I think in order for me to have any sort of hope, to regain any hope back in the playoffs this week, it's got to be convincing on the offensive side of the ball, especially, getting that run game going. We're such a one-dimensional offense right now. It explains a lot about why we only put up 2 field goals in New England when your starting running back has 14 carries for 18 yards. That's not very effective on the ground. So another opportunity this week against Denver. They boast, I want to say, like the 28th best run defense. And we did see a report earlier. It sounds like Joshua Kelly is going to be probably mixed into this offense a little bit more. So I just think it's a full display from the offense, especially, if they throw for like 300 and Justin throws for 3 touchdowns. They can rush for however many yards in that case, but any kind of fresh breath of air with explosive offense is like massive for me anyway, for my confidence going forward this season.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think for me, it's definitely on the offensive side too. And what you mentioned just with the running game, the Chargers right now, or at least heading into the New England game, which the New England game definitely didn't help their case in this stat. They have a 30.5% rushing rate win percentage, which is,
Not
if you're
great.
if you're a stat guy, you'll probably understand that's one of the worst 5 rushing offenses since 2018 in this new kind of PFF era, Statcast era of sports. So yeah, I mean that's not good, and considering what they did in New England, that's really not good. So my thing is, I mean, look, they can still beat a couple of these teams left on the schedule, but the question is, can they win out? Um, not going to say they can't, because they definitely can. But when you look at some of the patterns that have formed over the course of the season, we mentioned like the rushing game, the offensive line play has been very underwhelming, considering some of the leaps that they made last year with Sawyer and Zion Johnson. They've kind of seemed to have plateaued a little bit, and you could argue, you know, maybe they should have left, Sawyer on the left side and they moved him to the right side. And, um, Zion got moved around, and, it's a different, uh, kind of lineup of the same guys. So that's a different dynamic as well. And I understand that could take some time to mesh, just tweaking some of that stuff. But just overall, I mean, this offensive line has been very underwhelming, and obviously losing Corey Linsley early in the year didn't help. So for me to really believe that this team can go on a run, possibly win out and get into the playoffs, I would just have to see some sort of balanced offense that you know puts Justin Herbert in places to make plays and to make big time throws and just unleash this offense. That's why Kellen Moore was brought in to be the offense coordinator, was to unleash Justin Herbert. I don't think we've seen that this year. I think Herbert's passing yards are down. Obviously, his offensive line play hasn't been that good. He's got no rushing game. I mean, to help him, everyone pretty much knows that he's going to drop back and pass, or try to have Eckler bail him out. So yeah, I would just have to see a big time offensive performance with promise of some momentum going into the following week. They can definitely beat this Broncos team and get back to 500. and be very much alive in this race. But again, there's larger beast looming down the road. So yeah, I just wanted to get your take on that real quick. But real quick, things to note while we rapid fire the rest of this. Khalil Mack leads the league with 15 sacks. I don't remember the last time a Charger had 15 plus sacks in a season. Joey Bosa had 12 and a half, I think, his rookie season. Sean Merriman might have been the last guy to be in those types of numbers. I don't remember what he finished with in 06 off the top of my head. But man, it's just awesome to see Khalil Mack thrive. At least one person on this defense is, and it's awesome just to think that. I don't know why I always think this, but it's so funny to be able to like look at Raiders fans and be like, we got the best version of Mac. Like, yeah, you had a few more years with him, but like we got his best. We got his absolute best year in the NFL. And that's cool to say. He'll be an all pro this year, Pro Bowler. Yeah, just a fun little storyline to follow if you're a Chargers fan in a season that hasn't been the most entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, the 15 pretty much just came up so suddenly for me. I mean, obviously 6 against the Raiders helps a lot, but it's like suddenly he's been doing it so quietly. It's like, oh yeah, Khalil, he just had a casual 2 sacks today. He does it, like nobody's even watching. It's crazy, and it's not even just the sack numbers. It's like just the effect on the offensive line that he has, even on reps where he's not necessarily making the final, making a guy go to the ground. It's the pressures. It's driving that offensive tackle back into the quarterback and causing chaos. I got it pulled up here. Khalil Mack is only 2 sacks away from tying the single season Chargers record, which is held by both Sean Merriman and Leslie O'Neal with 17 in 06 and 92 respectively. So really, I mean, what we got 5 games left. I think that there's a chance that he shatters, the single season Chargers sack record, which would just be so awesome to see. And just really, there can be no way that this dude's not on the team going forward. I mean, if we've talked about the Khalil versus Joey argument on who you would want to keep around, obviously I'll love to our boy Joey, but I mean, if with this guy putting up the kind of numbers that he is and his age, 31, 32 season, like there's no way that he's going anywhere.
And I'll say this, they do play the Raiders one more time on the schedule. So he got 6
A
against
week
them the
from
first time
today,
around. He's going to want to feast against that offensive line again. Let's say he gets half of what he got the first time around against the Raiders. That will put him at 18. There's still 4 other games outside of that Raiders game. What's the all-time record? Is it 22, 23?
we could be looking at it. Yeah.
Like he's
So
one big week, like 2 big weeks away from like being right there.
Yeah, that is a good question. Michael Strahan and TJ Watt both have had 22 and a half. So
yeah, TJ Watt did it last year, I believe.
So, but somebody apparently said an unofficial at 23 back in 78, but this dude sounds like a bum. So yeah, realistically, I mean, Khalil, I mean, he could be in some depoy conversations at this point.
Like it's still far off. It's far out enough now that it's probably not on a lot of radars, but I'm telling you, if he feasts 1 or 2 more times, and by feast, I mean like 2.5 plus sacks in a game, I mean, that's 5 right there. That puts him at 20. And then there's 3 other games to try to go get 1 a game.
It definitely can be done. I mean, this dude has been, especially like you said with the Raiders again on the schedule, he might just break it in that game. He had 6 last time. Why not go for 7? Believe that game. I didn't
imagine he's like 13 sacks against one team.
That would be just insane. I actually didn't realize, but that game is a week from tonight. So
yeah,
we are playing next Thursday night. So gotta schedule some finals around that for sure if I can. So
for sure, man. So yeah, shout out Khalil Mack. He's been killing it. And then the other guy, the other thing that I think is worth noting before we dive into the Broncos here a little bit more, Josh Palmer Chargers activated his 21-day window to return off the injured reserve. He was limited the last couple days in practice. Could very much see him in action this week, which would be a huge boost for this offense. Could be, another good sign. Maybe this offense will start to pick up some momentum and some speed. So that is something to look forward to on the offensive side for this team.
I think that's a perfect transition right into the injury report for this week.
Oh yeah,
With Josh Palmer being inactivated, so we will see him in the next few weeks. I believe he has 3 weeks now to be put on, 21 days to be put on the official active roster, which is awesome to hear. I was thinking that there was a chance we weren't going to see him the rest of the year. Not, it's not like we're compete. I mean, we're competing right now, yes, but at the point we're going, we're a
so
loss or two
cynical, man.
away.
Come on, it's the holidays, bro. It's
All right,
episode number
yeah.
100.
All right, all right, all
We're
right.
winning the
Yeah,
Super
we're
Bowl this year, bro. I don't
yeah,
know what you're talking
yeah.
about.
You're right. You're right. My bad. But anyway, so to start off the Super Bowl run here this week against the Broncos, a lot of names on the injury report. Not a lot of big names on the injury report. So
Yeah.
your only did not participates for both days are guard and tackle Zach Bailey, Amen Abagbamiga, Dean Leonard, and Nick Williams practiced full yesterday but did not participate today. And then for your limited guys, limited both days, Otidio Ogbania, Josh Palmer, Trey Pipkins, and yeah, that's pretty much your injury report right there. Everyone else was a full participant today, which, I mean, in my eyes, shows that they're trending in the right direction. But yeah, I would say just out of any of the notable names, I would actually be surprised if Josh Palmer does go this week. Just coming off a dislocated kneecap. I mean, that never sounds good. So I mean, I think he's going to need some more practice time. I feel like it's not too often that guys immediately come off the 21 and are ready for the first game right out of the 21-day window.
Not
So
me,
I'd
bro.
be
I would.
surprised.
I'm built different. I don't know about you.
All right, yeah, fair enough. Besides Colin, but that's because he ran track in college, so he just has the lower body of a
Yeah.
centaur. But either way, yeah, I'd be surprised if Josh Palmer plays this week. As for everyone else, Dean Leonard back-to-back DNPs looks like not trending great for him. Um, but yeah, other than that, man, I think we'll have pretty much everybody out there come Sunday.
Yeah, I think he summed it up perfectly. A lot of names, not a lot of big names. Everyone, yeah, bigger names on that list should be a go. Um, so yeah, it's nothing too crazy. I mean, everybody on the Broncos side is full, which I think is kind of funny. Um, Obviously, we still have practice tomorrow, so something could pop up. But as it is right now, these are two pretty healthy teams at this point in the year. Again, like mentioned, uh, Josh Palmer looking to come back maybe this week, but definitely soon, which is a good sign. And then, yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Good news at this point in the season as far as the injury report goes.
Yeah, something we couldn't have said about last year, but we're probably sitting in a little bit better position at this point last year, but nonetheless, just got to count your blessings. The boys are healthy, and always looking forward to seeing them compete every week. So,
Yes, sir. All right, well, let's transition here. We'll wrap it up here pretty soon, so you can get back to studying. But we got to talk keys to victory for this Chargers Broncos game this Sunday in SoFi in Los Angeles. I can go ahead and start us off because for me, this is like you said, this is a Broncos defense that has not played the run very well this season. So this is a big game, not just to, and obviously, do what needs to be done to get the win, but also we were just talking about getting back on track, getting some momentum. This is a game on the calendar that could serve as just that for this rushing offense. Austin Eckler, you mentioned Josh Kelly going to get some more touches here this week and going forward. They got to do something because it ain't working. Whatever they're doing now just is not working. That's pretty evident with Austin Eckler having 14 carries for 18 yards. And look, the Patriots defense is good. Like they're not scrubs. Bill Belichick obviously knows what he's doing, but they're also not
Good.
elite.
They
Like,
have it's elite coaching with bad talent is the
yeah,
Patriots right
like
now.
we've seen other offenses do plenty against the same defense this season. I mean, they're 2-8. I know they have absolutely nothing going for them on the offensive side. Although, however, tonight they are looking pretty good.
Yeah, looking not bad. I bet you bet on them, didn't you?
I almost bet on this game, and I'm so glad I didn't.
Yeah, good call.
But yeah, so this for me, it's just a solid week to be able to get the running game back on track, get a win, have the running game be a central part of that win, and just try to. I mean, at this point, if they're going to do anything, it has to start with one big win to get some momentum, get some juices flowing again. And we saw how amped up this team was a couple weeks ago when they. God, who was it that they beat when they were going nuts in the locker room after it?
Chiefs,
Who?
the Broncos or the Chargers?
The Chargers.
Oh fuck yeah. I don't know. We haven't beat many teams this year, so I'm blanking.
Oh, it was the Patriots. I want to say it was just last week.
Oh yeah, it must have been. But if it wasn't a
But
few weeks ago, because we lost like 4 in a row, so
yeah, I was gonna say I think it was just last week. That's how I know it's been forever since we've recorded because it feels
yeah.
forever ago. But yeah, we've already seen how like a win, and they're like dancing in the locker room, having a good time, like on Instagram Live, booling, you know, like one big win can bring those vibes back into the locker room, can make you forget about some of the frustrations you've had, maybe with your coaching, maybe with your own personal play. But that's what I'm looking for this week, and I want them to be able to get this running game going. So they have to be able to take advantage of this Denver defense, and at least hoping for 100 yards on the ground. 125 would be chef's kiss.
Yeah, I mean it's a great key to victory. I'll give you that, but at this point, it's hard for me to not just to root for Justin Herbert to throw for 350 and 4 touchdowns, just because like that's watching 10 and 13 get after it just is what keeps my blood pumping. So, but I mean, yeah, totally. If there is a week to get the running game going, it would be this week against the Broncos. I think if we recorded last week, we probably would have said that about the Patriots, which obviously we see how that played out. But this would be the week to get it going. So not having just a one-dimensional offense that knows what the hell you're going to do every single time is definitely crucial to a victory. For me, I mean, you took the offensive side of the ball. I'll flip it over to the defense. I just want to see some of these young dudes step up and make some plays. It's been a really rough year for guys like Jasir Taylor, Dean Leonard if he plays, Sante Samuel Jr., especially these younger defensive backs. I think those are kind of the guys that I really want to see step up this week. Broncos, Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton's been one hell of a red zone target so far this year. But I do think that, this Russ is not nearly the same Russ that he was back in Seattle. Obviously, he's really ramped it up quite a bit these last 7 weeks for the Broncos. This is a team that's pretty hot right now. But I just think being able to force that guy to make some turnovers, not only to the defensive backs, but guys like Tuli Pelotu up front, just getting pressure after him, throwing it back to where some of those young guys are hanging out. It's time for them to start stepping up and making plays. It feels like this whole season's been a lot of missed opportunities for some of these young guys to really prove themselves. I really want to see, some of that come to fruition this weekend.
Yeah, I would love to see some of those younger guys step up as well. It seems like the trend the last few years for some of these young guys that get, maybe they're drafted later in the later rounds, and their first year is more so of just kind of a redshirt year, and then we kind of start to see them more involved, years 2 and 3, and then we kind of see year 4 a breakout year, and it kind of forces the Chargers like a tough hand because then they're kind of put in a tough spot of, oh man, do we resign them? Are they going to continue to be on that trajectory of getting better every year? Or do we just move on and try to draft the replacement and develop the next guy? So that seems to have kind of been the trend, lately, with a lot of homegrown guys walking and finding jobs elsewhere. So yeah, I would love to see. We've seen Thule step up, but that's kind of been from day one. Um, I would like to see some scrappier guys fighting for roster spots or future roster spots, future contracts, whether it be for us or with another team. This is kind of that time of the year where you know you see teams fight hard even if they're out of the playoffs. They want to spoil other teams' hopes. You have individual guys balling out because they're trying to hit contract incentives. So there's a lot at play. It's not just as simple as, hey, this team's 2-8, we're 8-2, we should fucking dog walk them. But yeah, no, I hear what you're saying about the younger guys, and that's definitely something that I think we've been waiting on all season.
Yeah, it's just like it's time for me in the season to kind of do some evaluations on what I want this team to start looking like next year. Who do I want to stick around? Who do I think I can do without? So I mean, if there's any time of the year for some of those guys to step up, it's now. It's especially 5-7 in this kind of an AFC playoff race. There's not much more that you're playing for. I mean, I think ESPN's got us like a 10% chance to make the playoffs. I'm not banking on it. I encourage you guys to not bank on it, or else you'll just be disappointed. Right now, it's for me. I'm ready to just kind of move on, but I want to see. I want to see what we got. I want to see the fight that this team has in them. If they're going out, I want them to go out swinging. So
Yeah, and hey, another week or another way to look at it is the playoffs have already started for this team.
yeah, that
There's
is true.
We get through 5 rounds, and then we get to the next
The
tournament.
qualifier, yeah.
Yeah, so we have a
This
five
is
round
this is
5 round do or
district.
die playoffs that start this week. Well,
Yeah,
it's technically 6 round. We got through the first round last week.
NFL districts just dropped. We have to survive the district to make state.
The gauntlet,
So
right? Right. We're gonna, dude.
yeah,
If the Chargers somehow win the Super Bowl this year, this would be the ultimate gauntlet of just being left for dead and storming back, making it in as a wild card on some crazy shit already. Upset it, winning wild card weekend, get to the divisional round, upset. Like, they would literally have to run the table. Like, they cannot lose from here until Super Bowl.
if the Chargers make the Super Bowl this year, I will shave my head live on this podcast. Like I'm
I
that
love it.
confident.
I love it.
So
Let's throw that in there.
I will donate a piece of my body to give to science. Like there's just it's not
While
happening,
I'm
bro.
still
But
alive.
yes, exactly. So you guys, top comment chooses the body part.
top comment chooses what I have to do if that happens. Then it's
Yeah.
like fly to Thailand, become
Oh
one of
yeah, I was about to
the
say I know you saw that Thailand meme, but
Oh, that's so good, man. But
yeah.
yeah, no, that would be like, it starts now, and it's literally the playoffs start now, and it's single elimination from now until February.
Yeah. So hey, we just got to get on a quick little 9-game win streak here, and we're chilling.
Yeah, that's all it is if you think about it. It's just a nine
That's
game win
all it
streak.
is. That's so easy, winning 9 games in a row.
When you lay it out like that, maybe, you never know. I don't know.
I know. Honestly, saying a 9-game win streak sounds so much better than, hey, we're going to the Super Bowl. Like that's just,
Yeah, because then you get to Super Bowl week, and you're like, God, it's just a Super Bowl, bro. It's just the ninth game.
and then we're gonna look back at this episode 100 right here, and be like, damn, like we called
Hey,
it.
living in a place like Phoenix this year has made me realize that anything is possible for sports
I
teams. All
know.
right. The
That's fair.
Diamondbacks, I mean, they put themselves in a lot better position than the Chargers have. I'll give them that. But still, to go on the run that they went on, you see teams do it, man. So
Chargers need a farm system, is basically what you're implying.
Chargers need a lot, but
Yeah, that's
there's a
fair.
lot that they can do in the next, off season or two to attain that. So
There
it's not
is. I
not
think
out of not out of picture, but We'll try to focus on this week just for now.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot. There's a lot of things to look forward to coming up, not just this season, but afterwards. But yeah, as for now, let's get back to the Broncos. Let's make some predictions and let's
Let's do it.
bounce.
All
So
right.
you want to start us off? I
No,
honestly haven't even thought about. Okay, fine. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. I can't really get a read on this game. I believe Broncos were winning won 5 straight before they just slipped up last week against a
yeah,
very good Texans team. So definitely have been one of the hotter teams in the league over this last half of the season. And to say that we've fallen off would be quite an understatement. So I really am having a really hard time reading this game. Before the season started, I said that I thought we were going to split with the Broncos this year. I'm still going to hold true to that most likely. I mean, we'll see what happens when week 17 rolls around. But for now, man, I'm gonna take the Chargers at home in this one. I just think right now the Broncos have been, getting a lot of attention lately. I think it caught up to them a little bit last week, and I think that right now they're vulnerable, and we can exploit that. We're coming off 2 not bad defensive performances, which not bad for this defense is A+ effort in my eyes. So I'm gonna take our Bolts this week. I'll go with the score 24-20, and my bold prediction is QJ gets his first touchdown over 20 yards. QJ gets his first big play of the year. QJ gets his first play over 35 yards this week.
okay, I like that.
Let's go with that. He's been close so many times as we know.
Yeah,
It's only a matter of time. So
yeah, yeah, and I feel like QJ's a kind of a weird story. I mean, if you go on Twitter, you would think he's like a
Hitler.
Satan worshiper.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
he's just this terrible, like god awful player, human, like can't do anything right. But when you really look at his numbers week over week, he is making the little steps. And for the people calling him a bust, like I know I think you have on Twitter just out of spite, probably
Who?
like letting
Who?
emotions get the best of you. Just
Who?
so you guys know, it wasn't me that tweeted that. All right, let's get the
I'm
facts
not
straight.
sure. I'm not sure that I take back that tweet either. Let's just say that.
No, man, I really
It was
think,
probably premature, though. It was
look,
probably premature.
in my opinion, dude, Mike Williams was a bust after the first season until he wasn't, and then people like switch up so quick. If you look at the box score, obviously I know he's got to make some of those catches. They're bad. The drops are bad. I've seen him. You don't need to tag me in them, but he is making some baby steps. I think sometimes it just takes a year of figuring out what the fuck like am I doing at this level, and it's not like he's not going to have Justin Herbert for the next 3 years at least. So that's not, that connection ain't going anywhere. And when he's a first round pick, he ain't going anywhere. Like he's going to be a part of this offense. He's going to get more of a role. He'll get more comfortable. And yeah, I love that, man. I think that would even improve his confidence that much more. And yeah, I'm not worried about QJ. Like I am in some level, but like big picture, I'm not worried. Like, am I worried? Am I concerned about his drops? Yes, like everyone should be. But I think he can overcome. I think that's something that you can overcome at this level.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just been a really, really frustrating rookie season to say the least.
Oh,
Just
for
a
sure.
lot of so many missed
Yeah,
opportunities that
and
really
it's
just
always
make
gonna
you want to pound your head into a wall.
it's
But
always gonna sting, and have salt poured in the wound when you look around and compare to other receivers in this class. That's never gonna help. So but each season's different. Some of these guys that were like, oh my god, Chargers didn't draft them. Like they could have setbacks, they could have slumps, sophomore slumps. Kind of fall back
just
to earth. You're
yeah,
not
I
a
mean,
rookie anymore.
I
Like
wanted Isaiah Simmons way more than Justin Herbert. So
exactly, and I feel like sometimes after that rookie season, it's like the the awe and the aura of that goes away of like, oh, you're not the darling anymore. You're not the exciting little baby that's out there like, oh my God.
less
You know,
less pressure after that first year.
yeah, and
You
it
got
just
you got a
goes away.
spotlight on
Like
you.
I feel like, Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison, some of these other Tank Dell, some of these other receivers in this class, I feel like maybe in a couple of years, like they'll come back down to earth, and QJ could go on this like steady climb. And you know, you kind of have to judge him after the rookie contracts are up.
Yeah, I agree with that. I
Like,
agree with that.
yeah. So I mean, I love that. I love that prediction. I'm right there with you, man. I think the Chargers do get the dub this week and keep the
Great.
narrative
So
going
we're
for at
fucked.
least another week. They have 5 games left, but these next 2 are very winnable, and you still have 2 huge games looming in those final 3 after the Broncos and the Raiders. But we'll cross that bridge when it gets here. Don't have to worry about it for the time being. Just get business taken care of against the Broncos. I'm going Chargers 20. I'm going Broncos 19.
Wow.
Cameron Dicker hits a game winner to put
And
us up
gives
2019 at the horn.
and
That's
gives
my
all
bold prediction.
and gives all of Denver the Dustin Hopkins PTSD.
That's
Need
right.
that.
Yes.
Need that. Yeah, I love it, man.
Dustin Hopkins 50 plus yarder game winner.
On a broken leg, basically. So, I mean,
Exactly. He'll just
yeah.
dick it.
I mean, I can't wait to tell my grandchildren about that game. So it's gonna go down in the record books. But yeah, man, I love the prediction. I'm happy we're both on board with this one. Typically, that cannot be in our favor sometimes. So we'll see how that plays out this week. But are you really a sports fan if you're not a little bit superstitious? I mean,
No, not at all.
no, yeah, exactly.
Every
So
sport. I mean, you have to be in some capacity.
yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, as Michael Scott once said, I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
That's
So
right. That's right, man. Well, after this week, or when we record on Sunday, Chargers will be coming off a dub. So that'll be
maybe,
nice, according to
yeah.
our predictions. So we got that
Hopefully,
to look
man.
forward to.
We do have that to look forward to. Just like I said, I'm just gonna sit back and let whatever plays out plays out. I'm done getting emotionally invested for the year, though. I will tell you that. So
Yeah, I'm pretty much
I've
right there with you.
I've thrown my last temper tantrum of the year. So unless we
Yeah,
make it to the playoffs and blow a 24-point lead again, so
yeah, I agree. I don't see myself like I don't think I can get worked up as much as I was last year. Like in that, I don't think. Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. Like, kind of what's the word here? Like foolishly optimistic.
there. Yeah, that's a term.
Yeah. So I'm right there with you. But hey, for the meantime, we can focus on the Broncos. I think we can get the win. And again, we'll just cross those bridges when they come here. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, hey, whatever happens, happens. We're here to recap it.
I'm procrastinating the rest of this year so hard. I'm just like, oh, we won this week. Cool. Like I'm not even worried about next week until
It's
we
all just the same.
record.
It's all just the same now. It's
I'm
just all
like,
numb.
I have my fingers in my ears being like, I can't hear you. We won this week. We're Super Bowl champs. I don't even want to think about next week.
I'm starting to think about next year, man. I've got my mock draft simulator out far earlier than I have in a while. So
We're not too far away, man. College bowl season's right around the corner. Going to be lots of draft talk going on, during that time. And then, as soon as that wraps up, it's all going to be draft pretty
yeah,
much from January to April.
true that, man. But as for this week, man, I don't think I have really anything else I needed to add. Got our predictions in, got some keys in there. So yeah,
Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this historic episode of Chargers Powder Hour up, episode number 100. Insane. We did it. We made it. We got plenty more episodes coming too. We aren't going anywhere. We're going to be here for a long, long, long time. So if you are just starting to listen to the podcast at episode 100, welcome in. We enjoy you guys listening and being a part of our podcast. And if you're a longtime listener, thanks for sticking around with us for 100 episodes. And as always, Make sure to follow us on social media on Twitter and Instagram at Powder Hour Pod LA. You can find us on YouTube too. So if you guys are watching these episodes on YouTube, make sure to throw us a subscribe and a like. And as always, bolt up and peace out.